And then I'm not really sure, but hopefully we can see each other. I definitely want to make sure we can hear each other. So we'll get that all straightened out.
But I'm Bethany, by the way. Hello. Hey,
And then
Bethany.
I'm not really sure.
Oh,
Hi.
hey.
I think I got off mute.
Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
I'm still figuring this out.
Oh, I'm so glad it's
Baby.
you.
Hi.
Hey, I've been wondering what happened to you. I haven't seen you in so long.
I'm around, just busy with the baby.
Oh,
You
so
did
cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad to see you. What's his name?
Gabe.
Gabe. Oh,
well.
he's so cute.
Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Myra's been back, Bethany. You just aren't there as much as she is. She's actually there all the time.
Well, yeah, I just mean I
She
haven't
showed
seen her
up.
in a long
She
time.
showed up to our Juneteenth event with her beautiful baby who was like 5 days old. I don't even know.
Yeah,
But
he's like 3 weeks old.
yeah, she's been kicking ass. It's been amazing. I just want to say that because you've had a little person in your body. And
Thanks.
yeah, and I just like all of you kick ass. Um, and I've seen her, there he is. I've seen her just transform with by having a baby. I mean, maybe it helped. Who knows? I'm just like happy that it's happened and happening. Hi, Gabriel.
Hi.
So I want to introduce Amelia, who's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, and she's been an incredible assistant and mentee and friend and just like an incredible contributor to Magnolia Yoga. She helped with a lot of the work that we're going to review today. She's helped me with countless of proposals and all kinds of amazing graphics and flyers and just has really supported the incredible work that we do. We work really well together. I call her my Kobe Bryant. She can catch everything I give her and makes it into a championship. She's a champion and she's a Leo. So of course, I'm a little biased, but she makes Leos look good. Let me tell you, because not every Leo makes Leos look good. In fact, sometimes it's the other way around. But I really love you so much, you know that. And she's in Canada and has been, gifted to us a big blessing, like many that we have at Magnolia, right during COVID, like the second half of COVID, and has really been with me throughout. And she's in Canada, however. And she is going to help facilitate tonight, and you'll probably, interact with her throughout your time. And so that's my introduction to her. But I would love for you to say a couple things, Amelia, if you like.
Yeah, hi everyone. So like Ajax said, my name is Amelia. I started working with Ajax in August 2019, actually. I was living in Arizona, but I went back to New Orleans to get my master's degree at UNO. I also got my bachelor's from UNO. And that's how I came to meet Ajax. I started doing yoga at a very young age. I was around like 13 or 14. My mother is actually a yoga teacher. Um, and my whole family absolutely loves Ajax. But being able to sort of support from the background is just amazing to be able to be there for clients, for staff. So I'm really grateful for all these years with Magnolia. Even if I'm in Canada, I can still be there for you guys as much as I can. And I look forward to helping you in this journey. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can let me know. Hopefully, I'll have the answer to them. So thank you so much, Ajax. And I look forward to the session. Yeah.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get straight into it. Everyone introduced themselves, right? Jonte, Bethany, Myra, and Amelia. And Casey, who some of you may know, redheaded amazing student of Magnolia's and nurse and mom. She is working her 12-hour shift right now, so she wasn't able to make it, but her and I have some time set out, and she's the reason why we're recording. So she'll get a chance to learn from this time together. And we're not gonna, I really want to stick it to 1 hour. We have a lot of things to cover. I definitely want to answer questions that you may have. But I will say right now that we may not get everything done today. That's the goal, that's the desire, but we may not get everything done. What I'm very grateful for is that we've met together on time. Thank you so much, all of you. And I'm not going anywhere, right? And neither are you. So whatever questions we don't get to, whatever content we don't review, or even if we do get to everything and later there's more questions or ideas, let me know. It's not a problem. Um, I've been up very early working an amazing day, but I need to eat soon, and I want to let you all, of course, have the rest of your evening. So Amelia, are you there, sweetheart? I'm not sure. Maybe
Yes,
she.
I'm here.
Okay.
So we're having a winter storm right now in Toronto. And of course, I lost power right before the meeting started. Now the power's back, but I'm just waiting for my internet to just return so I can
Mhm.
share my screen. But I am here. I'm just trying
Okay.
to find a good spot around.
Okay, I'm gonna let you
Um,
do that. Yeah, that's
yep,
fine.
yep.
I'm gonna let you do that. What I'm gonna show you all right now is wait, Bethany, did we lose Bethany? Are you there?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. No camera? You don't wanna see us? You don't want to see you?
No,
It's okay. If you need a moment, no problem. I just thought I wasn't sure if you were there. Okay. I want to show you all, as Amelia sets herself up, one of the main tools you'll be using for the rest of this training and probably for as long as you teach this style of yoga. And it's a precious commodity. Um, I am going to provide it to you, and you can then buy it bound and printed for yourself at my print shop, which is just a couple of blocks away from the studio. I think it's like $15. It's nothing super major. But this is something you'll be reading. We kind of call it our Bible. This is where the instruction, the precise instruction for each posture is at. And I'll get into these details more, but what's great about this is that it allows you to keep your students, your future potential students in your classes safe, engaged, and progressing in the right direction, right? And so it's really what a new teacher has to fall back on, because like it's SNL, it's Saturday Night Live. Like you are live, there's no do-overs. People are there, they got 1 hour, and you have to deliver. So at that time, you can't be nervous, you have to know what to say. And this is it. This is it. And so a lot of the training is around this, not everything, but a lot of it. That is the nucleus. And it's been a hell of a tool for me. I still pretty much know it verbatim. My teaching style has evolved in a lot of ways. I'm always sharpening it and strengthening it. It's been a craft for me, and I already came to the table as a former teacher, K through 12 teacher, Spanish teacher. Like I've taught a lot of different things. And so I came to it with a lot of experience and talent, but nonetheless, it was hard for me to learn. Um, Even though I vouch for my dialogue, I know I can still clean it up. I know there's still things that I'm probably forgetting that I think I'm saying I'm not. And so that's why I say you'll always go back to it, right? I have several copies, and I really believe in it. And every year almost, I come to appreciate it more and more. The science behind it, the safety behind it. Today, in fact, I made a connection today with a visiting dancer from New York. And together we started dialoguing about about yoga and about wellness. And I shared with her, and I'll share with you right now because it's an important thing, that all those savasanas, which is considered a posture, and you will find dialogue for that in here. All the savasanas that we take, it's a different model that we do in many ways, because many styles of yoga, the savasana only happens at the end. You can take breaks, you can do child's pose, which we don't do in our series, but there aren't really any savasanas until the very, very end. And that is a big distinction between the 26 and 2 and pretty much all other forms of yoga styles. And that's because the 26 and 2 was specifically created for the Western mindset and lifestyle. And so part of what's happening, that I made that deeper realization today and shared it with this dance teacher, is that it's teaching the Westerner how to focus intentionally and intensely on one thing. And the one thing is the yoga posture, one at a time. And then in between, and then you stop, and then you take a break, right? Not a long break, but a very like ideally effective, where you really just let go, right? Which is not always easy, but that's the goal. And then after a little bit of that, then you go back to focus, right? And that switch back and forth, if you do it long enough, it'll become a theme throughout your day succinctly, where you can be very focused. And I mean, you're a nurse, and Bethany, you're a former pharmacist, so you have to be focused. You have to get things right, otherwise people can die. And that is intense, that is hard to sustain without a break. And what yoga is teaching, especially the 26 and 2, is how to work with that, right? It's also why you keep your eyes open, because you can take a break without closing your eyes, right? Because closing your eyes is great, but who can close their eyes throughout the day, right? Not everybody can do that. So, um, so all that to say that I love this dialogue. It's helped me teach around the world. It's helped me create the first Black-owned yoga studio in Louisiana with foundation for people and with safety for people. And it's really made a big difference. So know that this is something that you're going to work with a lot. Now, the version that I have for you is super cool. And it's something that I wrote years ago for my boss at the time, my yoga mentor at the time. I've had a few, but there's one specifically that I had named Helena. And that's where Ciara and I first met, at Helena Monica's yoga studio in Northern California. Northern California, as you may or may not know, is definitely a mecca for yoga. So some of the best teachers, some of the best teaching practitioners, communities, yogis from India, many of them landed and stayed in California, specifically NorCal, but also Los Angeles. So I say all that to say that it's kind of like, it's like New Orleans with music. It's a mecca. Some of the best throughout the years have been here, and California is the same for yoga. My mentor was exceptional and really helped me in so many ways. And one of the things that she hired me to do was to write a companion to the 26 and 2, which is the stuff that turns people on a lot, which is when I first did yoga before I was a yoga teacher, and I started learning like, wow, they're talking about the pancreas, they're talking about your thyroid, they're talking about your nervous system. Like, this is so motivating, this is so fascinating, right? That stuff is awesome, right? And it's hard to attain all that information. Now, I'm extra excited to have people like you, like a mother who just delivered, like a pharmacist, and like a nurse, because you all are also pretty familiar with some of these things too. And so it's really exciting to have this group in particular. So this companion has a couple of sections that you'll see repeated for each posture. So we start with standing pranayama breathing. And so you'll have the anatomy involved in that. You'll have the physiology involved in that. You'll have the medical benefits involved with that. Key dialogue words, so kind of tying it back to the beginning of this workbook, right? The stuff you really have to know. This is complimentary. I do want you to know some of this, but you really have to first focus on this stuff, right? The dialogue. But anyhow, key dialogue words and key movements and chakras. And so that's something that you get as well, that we will study, that we will review, that will enrich your teaching. And this is also something that like continues to expand. I continue to learn more about the posture and what it's doing. You will potentially be able to contribute to that conversation because of your background. So as we waited for Amelia to get back on, I just wanted to show you all this because it's super valuable, very important, very rare and hard to find. And it is one of those things that I'm going to ask you to sign off on, that you cannot share this, you cannot sell this, you have to, this is like very precious content that I'm happy to share with you, but it's a responsibility as well. Making copies, forwarding and sharing with people is not what I have in mind for this. And so this is for you. And if unfortunately you're not able to finish the program, I am going to ask you to return this. I've had to do that unfortunately 1 or 2 times. Usually that same teacher, except for one time, came back. Like they didn't stay on because they had some things going on in their lives. But Amelia, I'm gonna turn it over to you so we can kind of start with the statement that I put together.
Okay, perfect. So let me share my screen so we can take a look at the opening statement, and please let me know if you can see this.
I want to make sure you all can see. Can you all see this? Yes, no?
Perfect. It seems
Yeah.
like everyone
Okay,
can
good.
see it. Okay, awesome.
I'm going to read it. It's 1 page. Let's read it together. Opening statement for Magnolia Yoga Teacher Training. Welcome to Magnolia Yoga Studio, where we are proud to offer a comprehensive and innovative yoga teacher training program. Our curriculum is designed not just to teach yoga, but to empower individuals to become change makers and community leaders. So that's you, in case you didn't know. We understand the immense need for wellness in our world today, addressing issues of disease management, prevention, my favorite word, one of them, and the importance of the human connection. Our tuition fees are comparable to national and international rates, ensuring that you receive exceptional value for your investment in this transformative journey. Under the guidance of your experienced lead teacher, Ajax, and our dedicated supporting staff, Ciara, Amber, and Kaylin, and there'll be others. There's amazing doctors that I've worked with throughout the years, guest teachers. I didn't list them all here, but they are all a part of the Magnolia training. Students, you will benefit from a wealth of knowledge and expertise in the field of wellness and yoga. We have successfully trained dozens of yoga instructors who have gone on to make a meaningful impact in their communities. The training is structured as a hybrid model, combining online classes with an extensive break in the middle. This allows students to absorb and reflect on their studies while balancing their personal commitments. We recognize that success in this program requires a supportive environment. This is an important line here, including dedicated study time and space, and I'll talk about that later, and the encouragement of your family and friends. This journey will require your commitment, dedication, patience, and courage. However, we promise that your hard work will pay off. You will learn to trust the process and cultivate qualities that you may not even realize you possess at this moment. Your transformation will lead to greater awareness, understanding, alignment, and enlightenment, all through the lens of yoga and meditation. You will gain a deeper understanding of how your body and mind work together and how they can heal. So that right there is like priceless. You can't even put a dollar sign to that. And I promise you, as a full-time yogi, I mean it. And I'm excited for you all because it's a calling. And the fact that you're here means it's calling you and you're answering. I'm proud of you for that. As our business picks up steam following the pandemic, we are eager to expand our reach and spread the benefits of yoga throughout the city and beyond. With your support, we can continue this vital work. Our program will ensure that the content and experiences are relevant to your lives, communities, and careers. And that, like, I can't even like emphasize that enough. You know, I spent a lot of my day today with partners, various schools. And right now I'm doing this work. I have the time, I have the passion for it. But honestly, I am about sustainability. I'm a yogi, and I know I'm going to need help, right? And I know that New Orleans is a small town and word spreads, and I want it to spread. I want the wellness to spread, but I can't be the only one spreading it, nor should I be. So, you know, it's another cool reason why training with me is awesome, because I have something here to gain. Like, I do have a dog in this fight. And, you know, a lot of teacher trainings are not like that. They just want your money. And what you do with your training is 100% up to you. They don't care. They don't involve themselves. Um, I just got confirmation of that recently from Amber, and she can share with you, you know, people that she knows who chose to, some who are local, some who are not. Both groups, you know, did trainings not with us, and months have gone by and they're too scared to teach one class. Nobody's helping them, nobody's onboarding them. They can't quite put the training into, you know, public, in the public sphere. You know, unfortunately, we had a teacher right now this week, that I had to, you know, kind of dismiss and say, look, you're not really ready. You know, I've been pouring into you for 6 months. I know how to do this. There's a formula, and I'm very patient. But after 6 months, if I'm not seeing results, then we need to take a break. You need to reconsider. Everybody loves yoga. Everybody can do it, but not everybody can teach it successfully. So, you know, I want you to know that, like, it's part of the reason why I haven't done one of this magnitude in over a year, because it's going to take as much out of you as it takes out of me. You know, it's a collaboration in the truest sense. So keep that in mind, that I need you, the city needs you, and I'm going to prepare you to meet those needs. Lastly, here, we are honored to play a role in cultivating the next generation of yoga instructors who will bring balance, mindfulness, and healing to their families, neighborhoods, and the broader community. Our commitment to serving marginalized communities, especially Black, Indigenous, and people of color, women, children, veterans, first responders, the disabled, and people who are incarcerated, and leaders. And the leaders part is very strategic. This enriches our training and makes it culturally relevant and necessary in a city like New Orleans, where access to such resources is rare. As we embark on this next phase of growth, both for you as aspiring teachers and for Magnolia Yoga, we invite you to join us in this vital work. Together, we can make a profound impact on our communities and the world at large. So we look forward in embarking in this transformational journey with you. I think that's it. So that's my opening message to you all. Thank you for receiving it. I would love to get some feedback from you all. What do you think? What stood out for you?
What stood out for me is, we've had several conversations, and my passion surrounding wellness and um how it looks, and yoga has been uh it's a pretty new tool for me, less than, I think, July is when I started. But it's been so eye-opening and instrumental in me seeing a way that wellness is readily accessible to me, and to the community and to friends and family. And so this does speak to me. I think that's the whole thing for me, is the wellness aspect, and how that becomes, a collective initiative. Like you say, you're not just interested in, hold on. Avery, can you keep it down a little bit, babe? Okay, thank you, babe. Like you're not just interested, we see yoga, it's trendy right now. It's a trendy thing. But I love Magnolia Studio and I love you and everybody there because I can tell you it's a genuine passion towards wellness and living a healthy lifestyle. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share?
Well, of course, I don't know. I don't even know why I felt like sharing, but I mean, of course, I agree with everything that you're saying. I mean, I love doing the work that I do with you in the community that I have done, and then, of course, I admire your passion about wellness and even with the last teacher training, getting to know you a little bit more and sort of how you navigate entrepreneurship, but also the wellness space. It was just very inspiring. So I always try to stay close to you, and anytime you ask me to do anything, just because it's always a growth experience and just learning as much as I can. So of course, I'm always excited to do more with Magnolia. So,
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great. It's been so good to have you, Bethany. Thank you for years now. I'm not sure how many, but a few, and just some key moments. We've shared some really good key moments for the last few years and growth and yeah, the entrepreneurship. I didn't talk a lot about it because I mean, my mentor is a phenomenal wellness entrepreneur who definitely taught me. And but if that's something you're interested in too, and I know that you are, and there's nothing wrong with that, but just to verbally say that to all of you, like, yes, you're definitely gonna learn how to sell wellness to people. Not everybody's gonna buy it, but many will. And if we do our job well, that'll only increase. And since the pandemic, it has been a hard recovery. And we are just now making money close to what we did before. And I have restarted my business and so like many times over, trying to find the right mix. So many things changed, but that's also made me a really strong entrepreneur. It's made me very innovative, which we won formally an award for. And yeah, so just to put that out there because later I remembered like you didn't put anything about the business side of it. But yeah, the business side of it is important. It's real. It's how we pay the bills. So we want to be really good at it. And there's a lot of money to be had in wellness, like, and I think that's a important and proud perspective to have. It doesn't always necessarily start out with a ton of money, but if you become good and you're dedicated, yes, you can make a good living off of it. And that's the goal. My teachers are making more. I pay my teachers more than the national average, including big cities like New York and LA. Yet I choose to charge way less than the average. So, like, my values are in alignment, and I want to change and contribute in a specific way. It's not how everybody's doing it, and that's fine, but it's how, my heart and my consciousness tells me to do it. And I'm always improving. It's not like I'm fixed, but for the most part, this is medicine. This is therapy. Society's falling apart. Like, what do we need to do to make sure we can live and pay the rent and enjoy life, but also like facilitate the healing that needs to happen? So, I'm aware of the time. I want to make sure Myra or Amelia have a chance to talk before I continue. if you want it, if you need it. I think Myra's trying to come on, but she might be holding the baby too. Hey.
Okay, is it on? I
Yeah.
can't figure out like mute and unmute, and I'm also watching a 6-year-old, so I put
No,
mute
no,
on.
it's all good. It's all good. We're impressed.
Okay. Yeah, I feel excited about it. And Ajax, because I did do a yoga teacher training before, and it was a good teacher training, but I didn't get, I think, what I was looking for out of it. And so um I've been a member at Magnolia for like 8 years now, 7 or 8 years. And this just feels very way more up my alley. The style of yoga is like the first style that I started off on. And um I also feel very passionate about health and wellness, and I don't really know where my future is headed career-wise, especially with a baby. But I do want it to be something related to health and wellness. So yeah, I feel excited. I don't know. I also get very shy. And so the idea of teaching was something that when it came up in my last teacher training, I didn't realize how that was going to feel to stand in the room and like teach. So I'm hoping that that's something that at least now I know what that feels like. And I didn't get a lot of practice with it, but hopefully I'm more prepared in a better space to do that.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, thanks for sharing, all of you. Amelia, is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm making I know it's me. Yeah, this is my pup. She came to say hi.
Oh.
Just making a quick note of the time, but I do want to add that from what I'm hearing, everyone comes from a sort of a different perspective, a different background, a different experience with yoga. But I just want to say the really beautiful thing about this training, and I've already seen Ajax lead several of these trainings, is that it truly teaches you that yoga can inform every single aspect of your life, whether it's your family, whether it's you wanting to be an entrepreneur, you wanting to teach for the community. It will make every single part of your life better. I think that's the beauty of it. And you learn that not only for yourself, but for your family, for your students. So it is an investment, and it's not only an investment in yourself, but in those you love. And that's one of the beautiful things about this training. So just wanted to mention that. But yeah, I'm really excited about hearing everyone's perspective and how you're feeling about it so far.
Thank you. Thank you. That's perfect. So let's get into it. All right. So we start this hybrid training in January. All right. We're going to start 2025 strong. We're starting on a very important day, January 11th. Lots of power in that number. And we're doing it because of the energy that the new year brings. I want us to, roll with that, have that on our side. I also know how the human mind works, and if we stray and take too long, then things happen and things we didn't expect. And it's harder to kind of get things going. So, having kind of starting the year with such an ambitious endeavor, I think is going to bring the best in all of us. And what's great about it too is that it's hybrid. There's some innovation here. So we will start on January 11th and go through February 9th. Okay. And so it's 5 weeks consecutive where we will be working with each other on a regular basis. And then we'll take a nice break for Mardi Gras. There'll be less required of you at the time. Let me kind of go over the overview before I go through the dates. So our program features the renowned therapeutic 26 and 2 hot yoga series, which includes 2 powerful breathing exercises designed to energize and invigorate your day, and the 26 yoga postures that bring optimal health to every system in your body, including your brain. We emphasize inclusivity, equipping you to teach diverse populations, whether children, expecting parents, individuals with disabilities, or those new to yoga. Our curriculum covers the history, philosophy, multiple types of yoga, and the medical benefits of practice. We prioritize accommodating all bodies and backgrounds, ensuring everyone feels welcome and supported. And that's like a big deal. Like those aren't just words. We really do focus on that. And you can see that in Magnolia. And that is very specific to our training. You know, we can follow through with those statements, and we do. Part 1, January 11th through February 9th. In the first 5 weeks of the program, students will learn the first 13 postures in the 2016-2 series. So all of the standing postures or asanas. Okay, that's the focus during those 5 weeks. During that time, one mock class will be scheduled either before the Mardi Gras break or during the Mardi Gras break. And that's where we create a condition, a mock class, where you will, with heat on, with me in there and your fellow classmates and a few other choice people, you will teach as best as possible that beginning series, excuse me, that standing series. Then Mardi Gras break comes around from February 19th through March 14th. So it's a little bit longer than exactly Mardi Gras, but time for you to recover and get ready again. During that time, so during the 5 weeks, you're also practicing at the studio. During Mardi Gras break, you are only practicing at the studio. That's the only part of the training that continues. The posture clinic, which I'll get into in a minute, and the online class are paused during the Mardi Gras break. Then part 2, we start again March 15th through April 18th, and that's when we start again with another 5 weeks, and that'll be the remaining postures on the floor, as well as the 2 breathing exercises. You learn the breathing at the end, even though we start with breathing. After that, your second mock class will be scheduled before graduation. All right. The graduation date is May 3rd. All right. And once graduation ends, then the third part begins, and that's June through August. And that's where we're supporting you, putting everything you learned together and now teaching the general public. So after completing this course, you'll be able to verbally cue and teach the 26-2 and the 2 breathing exercises with the series dialogue. You'll be able to keep classes focused, engaged, and creating benefits for themselves. Sorry, there's a typo there. You'll be able to understand and explain how the series and movements can help improve and maintain all systems of the body, including spine health, strengthen and activate major muscle groups, and support joint mobility and wellness while activating more focus and balance for the day. So you'll be very well-rounded, it's a very thorough training here. Offer and teach Magnolia Yoga 2022 to anyone, children to adults, expecting mothers, veterans, people with disabilities, and elders, all through the all conditions yogi philosophy. So that's something I came up with, which is to teach all bodies, teach in all spaces, and teach in all conditions. And, you know, like Bethany and even most of you on here, if not all of you, have seen me teach in a park, have seen me teach in a convention center, who've seen me teach in jail. Maybe you don't know, have seen me, but maybe you know about that. Like, you learning how to do that is not easy, and no one teaches you that. So that is part of what this training is going to offer you, because you may find a passion for that. You may be really into teaching children. You may be really into teaching in the park. You might not be, you know, but either way, sometimes we have these opportunities to do it in those places. People won't always come to us. Either the group is too big, or the timing doesn't work, or the budget. So we will go to them under certain circumstances. We will go to them. And so I wanted to make sure you know how to do that. Okay, required resources and materials. So you'll need a computer or a tablet. You'll need Zoom access. The required reading is a few really amazing books that you will have for the rest of your life. I think we missed one in here, Amelia, but we'll add it. So the yamas and the niyamas, which Bethany, you're already familiar with. These are the principles of yoga. It's a great read, a reference book, if you will. Lots of good stories, not super thick, but can help you understand a very old principle by putting it in everyday storytelling terms. So you can really understand what ahimsa means, which is nonviolence, beyond just like killing someone, right? Of course, like obvious, but there are other ways ahimsa is dissected and helps us understand it in the modern sense. So that's that book. Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art, an amazing book by James Nestor. And this book is typically a pleasure to read. I usually recommend it to private clients, and we now have it on our teacher training. And so, amazing book that you can get on audio, but I recommend the book. Some books do well on audio. It's not that I don't like audio, I do, but some books do read better, and Breath is one of them. The Telomere Effect. This is a phenomenal book too, not very big, but very powerful. Some of the latest research about how you can change your DNA, how we change it, and how we can change it for the good. So I love that book. Should be very pleasurable, written by two women. And the one that's missing is a book by Bikram Choudhury, and it's an old 70s book. You can get all of these on Amazon, and it's more of a reference book than like us reading it like the Telomere Effect or like Breath. It's kind of more like the yamas and the niyamas. We'll be referencing it, okay? But it's Bikram at his best. It's Bikram before he became a maniac. He's a little bit of a what's it call it? Like a mad scientist. He's like this incredible genius who has been responsible for healing, probably millions of people at this point. But stopped practicing the principles, stopped physically doing the yoga, and kind of lost his way. I don't talk a lot about him. I don't talk a lot about him negatively. I do think that he's someone who's done things that were wrong. But he also had a heyday. And thankfully, I was able to catch him during that time. And this book captures him at the very beginning of that heyday. So it's an incredible book to have in your back pocket. So we'll add that to the list. Okay, so let's go into the nitty-gritty now. So the course has one mandatory weekly live session, kind of like what we're doing right now, via Zoom. And then one mandatory, or actually, sorry, I thought I changed this. There's two mandatory in-person sessions that refer to posture clinics. So that's when we meet on the weekends. Thanks for updating that. You can only miss one of these weekends, y'all, because this is very accelerated, it's very immersive, and only if you really need to, okay? And ideally, it's something that's planned, like a wedding or something you already had planned or will plan. That's a lot more feasible and doable. I prefer that. If you have to take a break, let's try and schedule it. I know life isn't always like that, but it is the best version of that, okay? However, all right, if you do happen to miss a session, like a whole weekend, or even one part of the weekend, then you are responsible for making that up. Your classmates need to help you. I will help you, but you have to initiate all that and follow through. And as soon as you come back, I need you to be on time. So you got to turn in whatever it is that you missed. And you got to be ready for whatever we're doing that upcoming week. Okay. Taking an active role in your learning process is necessary through staying open to receiving and delivering compelling feedback. So you'll learn how to give feedback, but first you're going to learn how to receive it. So first you have to learn how to receive it, and we'll talk more about that later. And then once you become good at receiving it, then we open it up to allowing you to give feedback across the board, you know, to me, to each other, to the other teachers on the schedule now. We're a feedback-based studio, and it really does make a difference. And it's not anything bad. It's actually a really good thing. So keep that in mind. Students must create and commit to creating a supportive yoga practice and study schedule. Having hydration goals, this is important because you're going to be sweating a lot. Creating a rest and sleep plan, also very important. Establishing study hours, I put that on twice because that's very important. Attending live sessions, gaining access to all materials, including yoga attire, books, notebooks, a water bottle, a good attitude, and patience with themselves and the training process. Course structure. So in studio and live stream, this is the live stream piece that we'll do on Wednesdays. You'll learn about the health benefits, the modification, the history, and the philosophy. In Posture Clinic, we kind of review a little bit of that. Posture Clinic involves that too, but it's more focused on delivering the dialogue, okay? But we will take breaks to talk about how to modify if you are expecting. We will talk about the benefits in the posture while you're in the posture. It will make more sense if you're that type of learner. So that time is on Saturday and Sundays from 12 to 3. All right, and that's where basically we will have a few postures that we're studying as a group that week. So you study all of them as best as you can, whatever they are. Let's say it's 2 postures, or let's say it's 3 postures. Monday through Friday, you're studying those on your own and together as a group. Okay, and you figure that out on your own. I'm not involved in that process. You are mostly studying. It should be about an hour to 2 hours a day, but you can also have like 2 days a week where you study consistently throughout that day, or on and off. You can create whatever schedule works for you. And it's going to take some thought beforehand, and then you're going to have to try it and see if that works and maybe modify as needed. The studio is always open for you all to go to individually or as a group. I usually make it accessible to the most kind of like active and responsible person and say, okay, they get the key, they get the code, you can let everybody in. But that is a place where you can use to study individually or as a group. And it's a smart idea because that's where you're going to be, teaching. So the more familiar and comfortable you get there, the better. Yeah, so you'll be studying with me. We'll be having a class together online. Then that's on Wednesday nights, 1 hour. And then you'll be meeting with us as a group Saturday and Sunday. And that's where other teachers will come and join us. That's where our guest teachers or guest speakers will come, is to the posture clinics. In addition to that, then there's your practice. So you practice 6 days a week, or 6 classes a week. You can double up if you want, but you get 1 day off technically, and you got to figure out your schedule with that. You know what classes we offer at the times, and so you're gonna have to figure that out with your schedule. There's a weekly assessment at the end of the week, and that's just kind of a few questions online that you will get that relate to what we talked about online. They'll relate to the class that we have. I'm not going to make them very difficult. It'll be anywhere between 3 to 5 questions having to do with the content we reviewed. And then we will have a final at the end. Once you finish with all of those good things, the mock class, the final, the assessments, and essentially you graduate, then we start with the student teaching. I'm kind of going ahead of myself a little bit because of time. Part of your student teaching has to include your mock classes, and you'll get scored on those. You have to achieve a 7 or higher. Otherwise, we're going to have to schedule another mock class. And then once you sufficiently pass those mock classes, then you do 20 public classes as part of your student teaching. You do not get paid for this, but this is your time to really learn how to open the studio, close the studio, check people in, talk about yoga, sell yoga, start the class on time, end the class on time, do a little laundry, and lock up and go. That whole process takes a little time. All of your teachers, including me, will be there to support you. We're going to teach you how to do all this. And then during those 20 classes that we schedule according to your availability, that's where you learn how to do it well enough. And when I say well enough, it means like people still come to the classes, you lock up properly, you end on time. There's some criteria there. And then the last piece is the outreach and community engagement, that I haven't gone over. And so some of you have already done this. Jonte, you've helped me. Bethany, you've helped me. So some of you have already know about this, but this is a part of the Magnolia vibe is we do events and we will need some support in that. And so we're asking during that time, if you're available, we'll plan it accordingly that you would be a part of our outreach efforts. That's it. I'm gonna stop there because everything else on here I've already kind of covered. And I don't want to go over too much time, but I want to stop and kind of answer any preliminary questions that you may have. Talk about next steps. And yeah, talk to me. Thank you for listening. Who's ready to sign on the dotted line?
So the Saturdays and Sundays, that's every Saturday, every Sunday from January to May.
Well, with that break for Mardi Gras. So 5 weeks on, then 4 weeks off, and then 5 weeks on again. And something that came to me, sorry.
Okay. You said 5 weeks on, you said 4 weeks off? Okay. And then
5 weeks on again. Yeah. What I was gonna say is that I don't know exactly how to do this, but I do have a little bit of a vision, which is a good thing because I'm a visionary, of finding ways to support you out. Because everybody has children except Bethany, from what I know. And I love children in our space. And so let's kind of conceptualize a way that you may need at times or maybe regularly to have your children at the studio. I feel like there might be a way to do this. During 12 and 3, there aren't any other people in the studio. It's just us. So, the children are safe. Maybe there's someone that we get to work with the children while mom is working, studying. But that's like icing on the cake for me because like I've seen children who have grown up in yoga studios and their lives are changed for the better. And your children have already been in the studios. I'm not sure about Casey's son, I believe, but I think her son might be older than all of your children, but I'm not 100%. So I just want to throw that out there. That came to me as I was as we were unfolding the meeting. It's very African in nature, which I love, and we're African, many of us of descent, and love and respect the way, like I love the way Africans and many other cultures raise children. This holistic approach, so like I just want to put that out there. I see some
I
smiles.
feel pretty able to make the time commitment. I'm very grateful to have my mom's here, so I have a lot of support in terms of like she can help me with the baby. She moved here specifically to just watch the baby. I think my only concern is more so the money part of it because I am like in between jobs right now, trying to find a job. But I mean, I know you had mentioned like payment plans.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like very prepared to make the time commitment. And then the money part is where I'm like, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm feeling like I'll find a way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Was
Yeah,
that what
definitely.
was the tuition? I missed that part.
The two, I didn't go over it.
Okay.
It's in the flyer, but it's 4,000 total. And that can be broken up. I have a couple of configurations that I'm proposing. And if those don't exactly fit your budget, then we can talk about a different plan. But it's a combination of kind of working with you all. If you have the strong desire, I'm very, concerned about that more. Again, like I'm not going anywhere. So some of that, there's wiggle room there. But the total is 4,000 and it includes pretty much everything I talked about, It's a big investment on both ends. Like financially, it's an investment on your end and energetically. And it's also a financial investment on my end because I can't take as much work, um, because I have to focus on you all and I want to focus on you all. Um, and just energetically, I'm the captain trying to steer us all in the right direction, so it takes a lot out of everybody. But the results are worth it. And you've met some of the results. I mean, you've met me, you've met our staff, you see our community, like those are the results that made history and that are enjoyed by many people from around the world, so I do think it's absolutely worth it. And I am willing to work with you all. I'm kind of a give and take person, so like that's just the model that I believe in. So happy to do that.
Okay.
So I just left the payment plans that we're currently offering and that we put on the flyers for you to make a note of. So it's in the chat. But like Ajax said, that's an individual conversation to have with her. I just wanted to make sure that you have like the general information of what we're putting out there right now.
The next steps would be I have a questionnaire for you each. It's not super extensive, but in that questionnaire is where kind of payment plans you get to kind of share with me your preferred, arrangement and schedule. But there's also some like, deeper questions about why and are you willing to, dedicate the time and different questions like that that'll help you in the process of making a decision. So that would be the next step on our end. And of course, like I said, we are over by 4 minutes, so I didn't get to all of your questions. You probably have a few more, but I will be in the studio tomorrow. You all have my number too, and once I get your questionnaires back, that would be when we can kind of converse individually about, your next steps and your decision and things of the sort. There's a few things that you have to sign. We may come together for that. There's just like values around yogis, um, commitments, and so signing off on things to kind of keep the integrity, keep the accountability, not signing away your life or your children or your house to me or anything like that. But that's when the decision's been made. So next step would be the questionnaire. which I would want from y'all back by Monday of next week. So I'll get that to you as soon as I can. If not tonight, tomorrow. And if you're really interested and you want to start exploring the next steps, fill out the questionnaire, answer the questions. You know, there's also a room at the end to pose a question to me that we can use when we meet. And then, you know, if you're really serious or really considering it, like keep meditating, keep dreaming about it, start talking to your friends and family about it. Don't be surprised if they try to talk you out of it. That's what sometimes they want to do, and you're gonna have to balance it out, you know. No one wanted me to do my teacher training, but I was very convinced and very focused, and I'm so glad I did it. And oh, hi. Um, and so if you get to a point where you're like, I really want to do this, but my mother or my auntie or whomever is saying opposite, you know, once you make that decision, share with them your decision and ask them for your support, you know, and I would say like start thinking about your schedule, start thinking about who can help you with the kids. Help me understand if we made room for your children at the studio, what do you need? What could that look like? You know, start to prepare yourself. What is that going to look like? You know, that's why I even put out like yoga clothes, like create a drawer with all your yoga clothes. So like it's easy for you to grab it so you can get to class, you know. Once you've made a more formal decision, you know, we'll give you the books titles and you can start, you know, buying them, researching them, you know. So there's all kinds of little levels of preparation that it's going to help you come mid-January. Okay, I'm gonna end this meeting because I need to eat, and um, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for facilitating with for me, Amelia, and thank you all for your ears and your heart and your minds. I'm very excited about this group because you all have a common thread. Part of it is motherhood, part of it is also um, medicine and science and wanting better for society and having already committed in a way and wanting to expand that way. And so you're working with a lot, which inspires me because I'm also working with a lot. So when I think about bringing that together, I'm like, yes, yes, this is the next level that we need in this city in particular. So super excited to work with you all, and you have a lot of commitment and passion for me. And you know, I hope we can use it together for more because we're already using it, but using it for more.
Thanks, Ajax.
Thank you. Get some rest, everyone, and I'll see y'all soon, okay?
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.